What's popular? YouTube, another day, another demo. And today we are watching YEKINDAR play CS. We're watching YEKINDAR play video games. Liquid YEKINDAR. And you know what? It was such a fantastic demo. I had to watch both halves. There's a lot of context for this one. I really wanted to, I put in a lot of emphasis on learning a lot about YEKINDAR's Ancient, a lot about Liquid and the spots being rearranged. Every time a player subs in or a new player comes in for a new position, I always look at, who moves around where. So this demo is pretty jam-packed. Honestly, I think it was really good. And we saw YEKINDAR actually play very well in this third Ancient performance. Okay, we don't know how much practice went into Ancient, but we know that in these officials it's coming up in almost every single veto. So let's go ahead and check it out and see if YEKINDAR has earned that USA passport and if he's going to stay on Liquid or not. Again, I want to pull up the stats page in the settings to show people, because I always forget at the end to do that when I should. So why not just do it up front? Okay. Marks, born 1999. Mr. Native himself. Okay. Robson, YEKINDAR, two of the best aimers in CSGO playing on Native. You don't need to hear anything else. You already know the truth. 1920 by 1080, officially the third best res in the game, objectively, behind 1280 by 960, of course, the GOAT res. Second, 1728 by 1080. You didn't even know about that res. Actually the second best res. Okay, well, YEKINDAR's on the third best res, and this is what happens. You're a little inconsistent. He's played on Liquid right now. Half the games have been good. Half the games have been a little bit. What's weird is that some of the good games have also had some weird rounds mixed in. And of course, he's not playing with this team full time. He just he's played 150 hours each with all of the Liquid's players to get ready to play at IEM Cologne, but they don't have that much experience together overall. I mean, these numbers are pretty nuts. I mean, they're still pretty nuts overall in terms of just raw fragging power, but you can see that the smaller maps that he's played have kind of balanced it out so that they're... It's interesting, because I think we have obviously seen more consistency out of YEKINDAR in the past, and we've also had this kind of weird narrative. It's like the year of the stand-ins, where like it seems like everybody who comes in as a substitute is able to carry in a tournament. Snacks and Degster, and it just feels like no matter who you get. But it's also not to say that these players aren't special in all their own ways. And YEKINDAR, we obviously hold them to that regard, at that level. What's interesting about this play with YEKINDAR on Liquid is that he's playing in place of ELiGE. Well, not playing in place of ELiGE, but sometimes in places of ELiGE. But the map we're going to look at today on Ancient is one where versus Furia, I wanted to see after the evolution of the Ancient games, because he actually played this in 3 series so far. So sorry, I've been rambling on. Let me go ahead and jump into the game. Let's talk about Ancient here with YEKINDAR, and I think we'll start with the T side, but you know what? We might stick around for a CT. I know, as annoying as that sounds, 1/2 demos are really good, but I actually have a lot of questions here about both halves, so we can kick it off. When Liquid were playing on Ancient in the past, I think with Shocks on the team, there was still like a fair bit of B control, but they did do a lot more respecting of grenades, I guess I would say, when it came to banana control, deep B control for the CT side when they were on T side. With YEKINDAR, it's been much the opposite. Basically, even if there is a full nade set to go down outside of banana, YEKINDAR almost always is disrespecting that smoke, especially if he has a fast timing. He doesn't really care if the door is smoked. He'll try to come through. And then he has certain kind of set protocols for the way that he's dealing with some of the B pressure that comes down. And again, with Liquid before with Shocks, I think the only times they really went B were after the grenades as a pack, but almost never like just with Shocks alone. Wow, that's an unreal shot by Drop. I mean, I can't believe he would pre-fire out in the open too. That's what makes that even crazier. Which means I feel like it's not a pre-fire, which means, wow, that was F1 fast. Wow. Oh, looks like we had a sound issue. Okay. Let's take a look. Mac 10 on the board. No nades right now. They're not worried about it because, of course, they're trying to hunt down some pistols, so let's see if YEKINDAR finds anything. Gotta be careful with these two angles. They're actually way deeper than they appear. And we know from the interviews with Daps and YEKINDAR and everything, I mean, he's had a voice in the team, which is awesome. I expect nothing less, just like knowing him kind of, not personally, but having spoken to him enough, I'm not surprised that he actively brings ideas and suggestions and decisions during live rounds, even if he's in a new environment. I am not surprised in the slightest, and I think that's great. And I think Nafly, there's actually so many interviews around this. Nafly said something about YEKINDAR reminding him of Stewie in the sense of, well, you know, back in the day, I mean, Stewie honestly whiffed less back in the day. Let me just say, he also had better aim. Okay, I know a lot of people actually just don't know Stewie or CS for that long, and which is totally fine. I'm not trying to gatekeep or anything, but there was a point in time where Stewie was like a legit star, and his aim was a lot better. And honestly, like in the past couple of years, his sprays and stuff are just like, since he's called and stuff, have been way worse. But when I saw a chat when Nafly said he reminds me of Stewie, everyone was like, "What the fuck? Like, are you crazy?" But it's not that crazy to somebody who's actually known Stewie through his whole career. But okay, Stewie has never achieved the heights of YEKINDAR has as an individual, though. We can say that for sure. We can just say that there's some mirroring of the roles. So, all right, it looks like in this game. Oh, yeah. See, this is actually what I was calling to in terms of disrespecting the control utility. Now something the T's have been doing, excuse me, has been pre-smoking cave, so that half the push gets shut down, and we see that a timing gets caught here with YEKINDAR, where he's able to come out and win this duel. But it looks like Furia have extra layers coming out on the attack. Man, they're so furious. Every time we switch to somebody, instantly there's a crouch peek coming through and they get the kill. Glad to see Furia bounce back a little bit, because they weren't looking like themselves, but clearly they're still not exactly where they need to be. Either way, it's a really, really good looking Liquid, honestly. So again, here we're trying to jump on the B control as a T and not really waste much time. I don't know if YEKINDAR faces the smoke here. Ooh, looking for some spam damage. Gotta be aware of this spam as well. There it is. YEKINDAR very, very careful about where he stands in this regard. Not open a donut, but not easily spammed either. You do have to be kind of conservative with your ammo these days on CT side. So, and one thing in the evolution of YEKINDAR playing on Ancient with this team, he's of course he's not moving ELiGE around actually. He just took Shox' role outside B, and also playing cave dedicated on CT side. And we'll talk more about CT side when we get there, but we will see basically that if nobody puts up any resistance versus YEKINDAR, he will find his way into the site. So I think you know that when you're going up against him. I'm sure he has friends to his playstyle on the other side of the server as well in Furia. They probably respect and understand exactly that thought process. If you give us space, we take it. Oh. It's a brave angle to play, but this is the kind of spot that you love when you're up a player. You're in a loose position where you have an off angle, very hard to clear. Of course, he gave his position up by spraying and missing, and that's when it became a lot less likely he'd actually win his duel, but they have the players to trade down. That's the important part. As long as they keep trading, they're still up. And sometimes it's better not to play too tight, all in perfect positions, because then you don't get the info early and you all get smoked out or you get mollied. That's how ninja diffuses happen. So important to keep trading down material, as they say in chess, especially if you are up. It's called simplifying. Okay. Nicely done. You can win. You know, with that, you kind of just, okay, you know, we won one cave. It loosens up on the weekends of the B site. And it is just versus half buys and stuff, but still something you think about. Still something you think about, still something you talk about. So far, so good. I'd say one thing was, one thing that we've seen here is a little bit extra support, I think, compared to the last time with the pushes on B. And sometimes when he was disrespecting the smokes in his previous 2 games on Ancient, he was just dying for it eventually, coming through on a timing, waiting. But the teams you were playing against were ready for him. Like especially Spirit. They did a pretty good job. It's not like he didn't get kills. It's not like he didn't get space, but when I see him not have like an astronomical half, that's when I'm like, okay, why not? YEKINDAR is one of those players, right? that we hold to that standard now, of course. So this smoke is just so that if there is an AWPer on the other side of that smoke and towards cave or holding mid, then they have to be worried about it. It can cause a rotation back. If they hear this fake rotation, which YEKINDAR did, it was supposed to help with the A attack, making it seem like it was going to be some time. Maybe he's going to lead into that. They actually walked back, and now with 15 seconds, the bomb just has to sprint, unfortunately. YEKINDAR's made a really good amount of space here, and this is a huge lead to grab. Now, there was still the op known. YEKINDAR gets safely into cave, and now he can actually take an off angle, but safe takes him out, man. Wow. He was in his final spot. He took the risk to get him into the really good spot, but safe still won the duel. That was really nice. Oh, ELiGE's changed up his crosshair. He's not using the half. I'm using a dot too. I'm using a white dot as well, without a outline personally. I think ELiGE is probably on a 1610 res, but he used to be using this 0.5 thickness outline, which I didn't really like just because of the symmetry. It was missing that. Okay, YEKINDAR, it's holding the smoke. Uh-oh, smoke misses. Ooh, smoke misses in a very awkward way. So now they get shoved out of information, which means that if someone push cave, then they can use that against Liquid. And the smoke originally was supposed to shut that cave guy off from being able to see, but leaving Banana open to maybe attack. So they'll just have to wait this out. It's still early in the round, and they lost their opening kill anyways. I mean, it doesn't really have to do with the smoke, so could be worse, but not fun to be on this side of the door. Very boring. Oh man, looking worse than that. The sound of a second smoke pluming right as you were about to attack. This is a very normal spot to be in, and they had what seemed like a very powerful crossfire, and this could come down to reactions, you know, looking for a 6-shot here. And oh, that's so good. I mean, YEKINDAR doesn't peek, so that Yuri stands still, and he actually dies because he stands still, and YEKINDAR has 1 health and he's still alive. Oh, the pre-fire, bro. He just reads safe. That is such huge revenge, and he'll try to sneak up into cave, but this leaves Naf in a wonderful position. I mean, 1v1, he's got a strong off angle here. Of course, he has to work. It's a new 1v1 though. You don't see too many 1v1s yet. So he's trying to figure out how to play off of this newly constructed piece of cover in the middle of the site. And you know, K-Serrado could come out and peek left, and then he has a back to shoot at. Oh, of course, K-Serrado is going to be so aware to give himself a chance to win that fight, but it is so favorable for Naf. You can see how many good positions he could have fought from, where he would have been just fine. So he's just trying to be in the least predictable one, basically. Leave it to Naf to win the 1v1, but YEKINDAR set that up huge. And they actually won that, again, 3v4 with the amount of patience, 3v5 maybe, with so much patience. That's why, unfortunately, it is good to be patient. I know it's boring, and we're playing video games, but it's still a virtue, as they say, so. And I mean, the thing is, like, it's fun to play fast, but it's even more fun to win, right? It's even more fun to win. And I think that's the hard part to reconcile. But I mean, I think we can all see eye to eye on that. Oh my god. Look at all the blue guys. Yeah, I mean, we can already see the improvements here on Ancient with how YEKINDAR's playing his spots, how well this game's going so far, at least. I think there are a fair few deaths in this half. I mean, I don't think it's totally clean, so it might start to taper off a little bit now. I'm not sure. And yeah, he's also being a lot more, I don't want to say timid, but a lot more in meta about playing this, as opposed to what he was doing just in his last couple of Ancient games, just being a little bit more aggressive. I'd say right here, he's just respecting and waiting a little bit more often. And there's honestly a lot of time on the clock on Ancient, I would say, to work the map. This is where the CTs have the ability to draw out the most amount of time over on B, but it's not like it obviously doesn't feel quite as big as like Overpass, for example, where you can easily run out of time and the rotations can be excruciatingly long depending on what map control you have. Mid in the late round is, of course, something that's important for the T's to make those rotations a bit shorter, but yeah. Well, they work on this. They don't see anything. And this is a little awkward, actually. 15 seconds and their A play just extinguished. I mean, they lost that. Oof. So they've probably got... They have no nades for this, or... Oof, yeah. That was... Maybe took a bit too... Ooh, a plant? A plant is money. I think both rotators are hurt, actually. Gonna need perfect crosshair placement. Beautiful kill on Yuri. Somehow makes that look possible. Only YEKINDAR. YEKINDAR. Fuck, I don't know. Excuse me if I've pronounced it incorrectly. This, I guess, this is just a low nades round, but they did so much damage, right? I haven't been exactly reading the money the whole time, but this means that you can't actually... It can't take full B control. You need a lot of utility to do that. It can involve, I don't know, 2 mollies, an HE, even 2 HEs, a smoke for cave, a smoke for the bottom of B, flashbangs as well. I mean, entire kits go into early B control. Where the hell was Safe the whole time? Oh my god, he was sitting in the pocket, just wasn't cleared. That's nuts. I mean, Safe was so deep there. This can be called that they're taking kind of full B control here. I feel like there's enough of an audio cue. If we take a look at the map, yeah, I think they are trying. They were trying to prod into the A site based on, I think, the amount of info here. Ooh, Safe is making an interesting play over in middle. Wow, wow, look at that. I mean, you could just feel that being potent, right? Safe cut off the rotation back from A after they canceled. So just as YEKINDAR got that info for his team to go ahead and attack the A site because they're doing full B control, which means not only would it be 2A, but the rotations would be quite slow. 2A max, by the way, because sometimes you would have a CT here on inside of mid waiting. You would have an A player where Quesarado is just waiting. There was a smoke down, of course, that stopped them. But then if there's 3B, these guys are very slow to defending. Takes them a while. And they have to worry about mid as well. Oh yeah, it is. Oh, wow. Okay. See, that's the B control. And of course, it's a power move, but it's something you do when you've got money to burn. When you can spend cash, you go for B control. It's definitely worthwhile. And I think a mistake you can make is not putting enough emphasis on early B control. If the other team is willing to take that space back early, that can cause you tons of problems later on. You don't really want to forget about the fact that, you know, people wonder, like, why would you expel so much utility when you could do it later? Or like, why at the beginning of the round? Because people are tempted to take spawns all the time. And first of all, it stops that whole section of options that involve spawn-based plays. Opening fast attacks, right? Punishing setups where everyone kind of recedes to the rotator spots as the round moves along. Okay, this is getting up here is huge, but he's trying to safely do it. Okay, now he's in a very good spot, but he gets spotted. It's still kind of strong, but unfortunate that he gets seen. Now they know that he was boosted as well, so I'm sure they'll be aware. Nitro throws his own smoke, realizing the jig is up, and okay, we go into the second half. Well, they wait for the push. They get one. B attack comes down. 1 for 1 might be good enough, I don't know, but they get cave control. So here on CT, you know, basically 90% of the time, YEKINDAR is interested in some form of cave control. That is his, you know, his position. But once in a while he'll come back to mid. Almost never. Sometimes he'll be taking down B with Nafly. Wow, it was actually fantastic spray control. Oh, and a bait as well. Just Yekinder being there wins that for Nitro. Totally screws up the shot. That was pretty much impossible to play against. Is it the B site? Looks like it is. Wow, good awareness from Yekinder. Watching the pocket the whole time. I think half being aware of any door swing, but no kits in play on this one, so smoke's gonna come up soon as well. We have more money to work with. Let's see. No, not that much utility. Impact grenades are really important. I mean, damage utility, Molotovs and HEs for the early round. Again, you're trying to get unconfirmed damage, chip damage, throwing HEs over top of the wall. Oof, okay. Right here, the molly that Yekinder just threw is undeniable, okay? Right there. He gets in the pocket, 144. Looking at the map, all the T's are on here. And you know why this is 100% understood? Because the molly was not smoked that Yekinder threw. The molly that Naf threw was smoked. So that means that there is no way that cave can be attacked for the next 7 seconds. And in fact, it means that you can't even get past this point for the next 7 seconds, which adds even more time onto the clock as they want to scale through cave. So Naf and Yekinder on the site, since this is just not disrespected, can wait here in these really OP positions in front of a missed Molotov, actually, from the T side, unfortunately, and fight forward. And look how long before they're even worried about the cave. They still aren't. Actually, it's Furia who even actually smoked it on their attack, so they could have taken it afterwards or whatever. But that's the same kind of early warning system that you get on overpass, where you just listen for it. I mean, if sometimes people can run through it, so at the cost of 40-50 damage, you might not be heard. But if it's early enough and the molly gets smoked, well, now you've got to respect that. So it's like it's an expensive way to participate, but at a high level, if you don't participate, you will lose. So you've got to play these kind of really expensive games for tiny advantages. Otherwise, it'll be used against you. You'll eventually lose. So 8-12. How do we bring this back? I don't even remember if actually Liquid win this. 2 in basically the same spot. Hard to read. 3, in fact. And the bomb gets dropped. 1v2 OC. Oh man, that's so fast from Art, but this is actually winnable from OC. Very winnable, and he knows that Art could still be here. Oh man, dirty, just dirty. Art could have absolutely escaped in that situation and guaranteed a plant. Well, not guaranteed a plant, but most likely gotten a plant. I think he probably should have taken that option, just getting out, but yeah. Dangerous playing those games with OC. So, well, we go right into the next round, and I mean, even though they won the 1v1, kind of broco, and oh man, are they gonna win this low by retake? That would be nuts. The retake flash that Yekinder throws is really important because it's super easy to dodge for yourself. Oh, I shot Yuri. Oh yeah, they lose. Another. I feel like we're only seeing MP9s this half. So yeah, man. Okay. I mean, well, we immediately see Yekinder run into mid, and Furia are bringing a different style. A lot more set plays here. Not so many defaults. A little scary as all these smokes are fading. No one in view. Now some info, at least one. And it looks like last one. Yeah, last one outside law or A. Really all too easy to go and stick this. And Safe even gets caught, I think, trying to escape with an op. Well, brave move to make here for Yekinder, but plays back. I think alley-oops himself with this HE. And looking for some more substantive rounds here. Here's that molly again, that early warning system. Paired with NAF. Sometimes they don't go deep B control with it. And this smoke, not only, again, this is all to stop any T's from being able to pincer mid, right? Because like mid is already scary and kind of difficult, and most of your angles on CT side are, you know, you can one way. If they smoke here inside of snipers, then you one way just below it on the stairs. You drop your one way and look over, and then your second guy, who is actually also an A player, will jump out into donut side. Sometimes it will throw a smoke right here, and they will try to put as much pressure on elbow as possible, because it's the early round problem. So YEKINDAR, even though he's playing the B side, he's actually helping out with mid control by putting pressure down, both with this early warning molly, as well as the smoke specifically that bounces to the left side to stop anybody from getting across or letting him know, so that he can corroborate that information or do something about it himself. And this makes it a lot easier, because again, a lot of the CT angles here, they're not, you have the pocket and you have the outside of donut, but you're not really playing all three at all times. So that's where the T's can kind of become overwhelming when they're crossing out, even though a lot of the CT grenades in the early round are very strong. So, oh my god, YEKINDAR gets flashed through the smoke and he takes that duel. Oh, it's the perfect attack. Wow. Even just him doing that turns somebody's head, and the other two CTs inside of mid take the next duels. That's crazy. But drop, he brings it back. Oh my god, that just actually went from a beautiful situation to terrible with a 2K. They wish they had one CT left over on the A site, but it looked like it was over, and Safe wins another duel in spawn. And a second as well. That's nasty. The two young guns from Furia. I genuinely don't know who wins this game. I can't remember which games I've watched. I've watched so many games and so many demos. I'm just like, my mind is actually scrambled eggs right now. Because this is the first map of the series, so it could be either way. But it certainly doesn't feel like Liquid are going to win. Oh, man. I mean, he's locked. They can flash to get him out. It's actually very hard. Oh! Moment of silence. Can we pour a... we need a mango 40 for this. I'm so... F in chat. Oh my god. Doesn't get much more Counter-Strike than that, does it? Jesus. Okay, they still win. That helps a bit. Back to the MP9s. Ooh, it's like, ah, man, that made it so expensive. Drop is pretty scary, man. Another hero from the Academy League. Unbelievable talent. Okay. Now, what to do here is kind of tough. You know, the MP9 with the op in place is super strong. Without the op in place, this is no place to be. Especially without boxes inside a middle, it can be kind of dangerous to hold for the jump ups. A little risky of a game to play. I feel like the CTs are going to be too locked into this position if they don't do something from here. Like, if they don't want to try to transpose. Now, they're hoping that Furia are coming out for, you know, late B attack or something. That would be perfect. And they have mid control, actually, so they're kind of safe. They have one inside of middle. Probably ELiGE watching. Oh my god, this is like timing city. I'm like so scared, but... Obviously, we've seen Furia do a lot of late A attacks as well. There's still time to go B, but now this smoke should kind of finalize that, like, if they want to go B, they'll probably come through this at some point. So that's why YEKINDAR waits to the specific moment, because now they cross the 25-second mark before being able to attack. So it's very risky for Furia to go for this. I'm almost certainly going A at this point. Like, 99%. Yeah, so that's just a really well-timed smoke. Of course, very scary, because that's when the timings could come, but that's why he's trying to hold that smoke specifically. But, hey, that was a cool setup. It was actually very quiet. They didn't use a lot of utility the entire time. Encouraged the attack to come forward by not using that smoke. And, whoa, another reared round, actually. And YEKINDAR could flank off this. Sometimes he goes mid to big flank. But with no one in middle, actually, refreshing the donut player might be more important. And we get the bomb down in the open. He kind of like needs this duel, I want to say. It's actually interesting. Those new walls offer up some new angles for the nades. And I wonder if that helped out. Since they've been smoothed out, they help them bounce easier, I think, across. And Liquid have actually brought this back, so again, I'm gonna call it early warning mollies because I don't have a term for those. Wow. Okay, now the confidence is coming through. That's wild. I mean, he barely cared if that smoke did anything or not. Someone could have swung on him, but he was just intent on trading mid. And I think it's just becoming clearer to Yekinder what Furia want. I think that's what we just saw. Because the way that he threw that smoke, it was pretty like, he like opened himself up. Like if they were going fast B, like trying to counter this one play by drawing Yekinder to mid, and maybe they catch him, you know? But Yekinder's like, I'm throwing the smoke because it's protocol, but honestly, I'm not really thinking that they're behind this. This feels like it's leading A, or this mid attack is way more relevant right now. Yeah, okay. Just skip through the last go. Whatever, man. Yekinder, you know, super solid game overall here on Ancient. You could see he was a part of a lot of those rounds. Definitely some big moments, and overall it's cool to see how many times Ancient is coming up in the pool for almost everybody right now, which is sweet. I think they did a great job with the new Ancient. I don't know how the pros feel about it right now, but yep, they're playing it a lot, so that's great. And yeah, Liquid Yekinder, congrats. Let's get him a passport, huh? I think he's deserved it. Let's make it official. You know what I'm saying? Let's sign the thing. Let's get him to NA. I wasn't sure at first, but now seeing ELiGE play so well, seeing Yekinder play well, hearing the interviews, I'm warming up to the idea a lot. I mean, I kind of wanted this blockbuster move for Yekinder, like in my head, like, you know, G2 Navi phase, you know, something like that, but like, why? You know, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just for the sake of his career when I think about Yekinder, like, he's like trajectory of a Hall of Famer, right? So you kind of want the best possible move at every turn, but yeah, he can upgrade pretty much anyone. That's the life of an elite entry fragger right now, that you take no space. You actually add space, right? One of the few roles where you pretty much add space more than you take by being an opener on T side, or in Yekinder's case, actually, for whatever reason, an aggressive T side lurk, or just lurk. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that one. That was Yekinder, and what can you say? Look what you can do. See you in the next one. Be safe.
Big dog shit, got my paws all dirty. Looking for a plate, that's why the dogs